What's up, YouTube? David Matt Teacher here, back for another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 26 and the Billy Goat Challenge. We are about to start the 2007 offseason following a really good season, 90-win season, down 10 from the previous year, but the major difference is we have made the World Series, unfortunately losing 4-1. Sean Figgins absolutely destroyed us in the World Series. Is an upcoming free agent. I bet he's on arbitrate. He's a Type A free agent, so again, an interesting player to look at after just doing what he's done to us. Kind of a good left fielder. Kind of miscast right now as a third base. If we see he's got good outfield ratings. So if he's there, he might be an option. For us, some big question marks. Right now, Carlos Beltran is not a question mark. However, coming off a big down season, so 7 WAR, 8 WAR, down to almost barely a 3 WAR. Something needs to change. One thing that is not going to change, Nate McLeod needs to come back. He's in arbitration. We offered him. See right here. $2.5 million, which is a almost $2 million pay raise. Hopefully they sat with us. If not, even if they sat with him, he's going to be worth every penny they give him. Ramos is going to be offered arbitration after 2 good years. Kind of a down year, so looking to upgrade at third base if he chooses not to accept the arbitration. I'll take the draft pick for him. Mark Kotze was kind of a late signing last offseason on a super cheap deal. He decided to opt out. Slightly above average, played good defense. Didn't really hit the ball too well, just shy of 300. Not much pop. Again, looking to upgrade over in that position. Dennis, after a great season, being an all-star, 5 WAR, 208 ERA plus, had a below average year, kind of bounced between the starting rotation and the bullpen. Couldn't really find home at either spot. So guy probably not going to bring back could. On a cheap deal, not worth $4 million. If you can get about $2 or $3 million. Because if we see what he wants a longer deal. We don't have money to sign him with. But we were talking about some guys that could move. We'll see as offseason gets closer what our financial status looks like. But just contracts that are movable. For next year, Mo making $37 million. I could only trade Mariano Rivera. Other than that, Kerry Wood, again, love to trade him. Still coming back from an injury. We'll see if we can move him. Cliff Lee is movable. Derek Lee's got 1 more year left in the remaining. But just looking at these top 3, Mo is the biggest standout, $37 million. And if I want to trade him, nice thing about trading Mariano Rivera. He's a great player. No team's going to offer just because with that money next year, it's going to be tough for any team to fill that. So we'll kind of let that sit for a second. We'll see what happens. But we're going to jump ahead here to the awards and into the draft. A couple of the pitching coaches, Nick Atkinson, signed as our hitting coach. Looks very good at doing that. Coming out of the Bakersfield Blaze, which is the A-ball affiliate of Texas, as a hitting coach there. Not the greatest. I like what he looked here. Definitely favors some on-base percentage. Pitching coach Pat Hartley, not nearly as good. Just kind of had to get somebody in. He's okay at teaching pitching. We could do worse. Yeah, I think he signed him on a 1-year deal. And Joe McIntosh. Ideally going to get him in. He's just such a great coach to fill in for Dusty Baker. 56 years old, so he's a little younger than Dusty. Former player. Just an excellent coach. So just lets me choose a line of pitching staff, which should help our bullpen issues we've had the last couple of years. With Dusty Baker playing guys in weird spots. I like his high frequency and hit and run, sack bunts. Likes to steal, so kind of benefiting some of our faster players. Likes to pinch hit, get guys getting going, does not use an opener. So yeah, just a bunch of stuff that I like. Good scout, actually, too. Favors more power, which is something that fits my GM style. But we're going to jump ahead here a little farther, past the MVP award. Chris Florido's assistant GM. Again, likes power, decent scout value, decent draft value for budget. Just a face to be next to me. Can never jump ahead here. The MVP award. So we got Pat Hartley as the pitching coach. So we can see it's a 1-year deal. We'll get a better one next year. Just need to get some more reputation. Get the assistant GM. Get the manager, which is awesome. Jump ahead another day. A couple things to note. One thing you should look for this channel. Starting in the next couple days, I plan on doing 2 series on college football as it just comes out. I plan on doing an Iowa football dynasty, as well as getting the ultimate team and doing a, in my opinion, unique ultimate team approach of being no money spent and being offline only, not playing any online games, seeing how you can make coins, how successful you can be with just playing the offline modes and not doing anything online. All right, back to this then. We're going to jump ahead through the awards for now. Again, I hate jumping ahead and seeing this because, again, just another disappointing loss. Some trades, Gold Gloves, NL has nobody for us. Best reliever is Mariano Rivera. Does not surprise me. Hoffman being up there as well, but Mo just being down at 149. Top hitters. Nate McLeod makes it in center field, although he did not play center field. Fabio Castro gets Rookie of the Year, which again, a bunch of not really notable names at this point. Josh Hamilton wins in the NL. Akinori Iromura got second. Alex Gordon, Garrett Mock, and Luis Valbuena. AJ Hoffman gets top manager as the Marlins. Dustin Hermanson gets the AL Cy Young. Don Trell gets the NL Cy Young. Johan being on that ballot's happy for me. I'm happy about that. AL MVP is a 23-year-old Ryan Zimmerman, which, I mean, if you look at it, wow. Angels got themselves a steal in that. Bunch of other names you recognize on there. NL goes to a 23-year-old Troy Tulowitzki. Has the power, plays good defense, 151 OPS plus, nothing to complain about. And there was Nate McLeod, the only Cub, getting votes. Jump ahead a couple more days here to get to the first-year player draft. Randy Johnson, Barry Bonds still in the league as the oldest players. Al Duque, Al Leiter, Mike Timlin. All right, now you have first-year player draft. Oh, correction, the combine. We'll put all those guys in the combine. And move ahead here to the first-year draft. You can see don't have a first-round pick because of the comp. Right here to the Twins is where we signed Johan. But we do end up having a, again, not going to be able to see it here. On the supplemental round, we do get the 17th pick there, and we get our pick in the second. So this will be a draft we probably don't get very many big names. We're going to jump ahead here. Unsplash Buster Posey goes 1, Charlie Blackmon, Alex Avila, Ozuna, Jake Arrieta, Mad Bum. So again, a bunch of these good names. Cubs sitting here in the supplemental pick 17. We have Richard Blyer, Jake Diekman, a couple of shortlisted guys. Make sure we have all players. Will Smith's on here, Mike Moustakas, Jake Diekman, who's a funky lefty, Richard Blyer, who's a nasty lefty, great movement. Pitches aren't there. Where Jake Diekman pitches are there, not as necessarily good there. Kosuke Fukudome is on here, great eye, would be an MLB player. Wade Miley, Brad Bach, Trevor May. Will Smith's a nice, interesting lefty. Mike Moustakas has some great power and some defensive versatility. Darius Familia would be an interesting righty. I think just looking at this, Richard Blyer's got the most interesting pitching profile as a lefty, and I think he can develop those pitches. So we're going to go with Richard Blyer and meet his demand. After that, none of our shortlisted players are left, so we'll see what we can see. Anthony Goose is here, has great BABIP, extremely fast. At this point, it's impossible to sign. We have J.J. Hoover, another interesting pitching prospect. Would not like to go reliever first two, though. See if there's any MLB ready guys that can be drafted. Not really that jump out to me looking at some of these names. Pat Venditti, the switch pitcher. This time has him just so as a righty. But again, most notable has the rule named after him. I mean, J.J. Hoover's such an interesting... He's good pitcher BABIP right now. Has some interesting pitches. I don't like the extreme fly ball. Other than that, we have David Phelps. Two potentially good pitches. Again, another fly ball pitcher. Those are good just hitters. Did not mean to soup by height. Anthony Gose is the best. I'm going to draft him, offer the slot, and see if he will like that. If not, whatever. Higgy. Alexi Armista, Mighty Mouse. We'll give him a flyer. Doesn't want too much money. We'll do a couple more picks here. Looking at more bats. Batting potential. Interesting stats. David Cooper looking to drive gaps. We'll go with David Cooper at this point. Some super fast guys. Here's one. Justin Green plays good defense as well. If his bat develops, I doubt it will, but super cheap. Moises Esquivel. Let's see if we have any guys that made the actual majors. How about some contact guys? JB Shuck had a couple years in the majors. I think he actually turned to a pitcher, if I remember right. Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. No, maybe not. No, he threw a couple times. Just a name that I didn't remember correctly. How about pitchers? Is there anything interesting pitching potential-wise? Cedric Bowers throws hard with a nasty curveball. We'll go with Cedric Bowers. We'll see. We'll do two more picks. Got insane, interesting stats. Let's filter here by extreme ground ball. There's a couple. Eric Davis. Philippe Armand. Definitely a French Canadian from Quebec City. Cody Epley. You know these guys are going to be good, but I mean they're flyer picks at this point. What changes instead of being extreme is at least ground ball. Nothing jumps out at me there. Okay. And got an insane plus pitch. I saw a nice curveball at one point there. Daniel Schlereth, 21-year-old lefty, no control, but we'll see if he can develop in the minors. We'll clear this, see if there's anything interesting here. Tyler Howell throws a good fastball, but he cannot hit. Let's go position ratings. There's a defensive catcher. See if the bat develops. Fielding ratings, catcher framing also. There's 2 defensive catchers out in the minor leagues. And with that, we'll just jump ahead to the end here. Again, this is a good draft, but unfortunately being aggressive in free agency cost us that first round pick and a chance to get anybody of note. Go decide not to sign, which is a shame, but it happens. Cody Epley signed. Salary arbitration day. Pryor gets $13 million. I mean, he gets about $500,000 more than we offered him in that. Sean Marshall, $550,000. Diaz got a little more. McClough, $2.3. That's exactly what I wanted. All right, Dickey, sure, under $2 million, under $2 million. Cliffley's getting paid too much now, but Ramos declined arbitration, so we'll get a free agent. Kotze declined, that's fine. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at this just because it's going to be funny to see. We have no money. We have $21 million for extensions. We can offer a contract. You can just see we are $22 million in the hole. Which means we have to make some money moves right now. Kerry Wood we can't trade because he's hurt. Mo we can trade. Probably going to attach a good prospect with him for that money. Cahill's really the only one that to me that's off limits. How about Cam Maybin? The downside is no team can afford him. All right, along those same looks, looking more of our salaries. Could try to trade Trevor Hoffman. Kind of weakens our bullpen, but an older guy. Might be able to get cheaper without his money. Or not. You can just see the reason why is Diamondbacks. No budget. It's got cash available. Oh, that's why. Hoffman's got a no trade clause. I didn't realize I put that in there. Other names. Cliff Lee. Could go. I mean, with Mariano. That no trade clause is just a pain. I didn't realize I offered that. So again, we're not going to be able to really add anybody money-wise outside of minor league contracts, which is a shame. Because players I have interest in, you can kind of see it on here. All players. Bonds, Randy Johnson. Aramis just can't bring him back. Carl Crawford would be interesting. Jeff Bagwell still there. Sean Figgins, who just killed us in the World Series. I'd love to offer him that. We just don't have that kind of money. Billy Wagner to fill an empty hole. Cam Maybin might be able to slide up, play outfield. Just looking at what we have right now, we are missing some starters. So if you look at our minor league, Cahill at 19, dominated triple. I think he is actually ready to come up at this point. Mármol, we're C on. Let him do my staff. Johan Pryor, Lee Ubaldo, R.A. Dickey. I'm okay with that. I like him at more of 100 pitches. Hoffman is going to still be my stopper. With a backup role there. Trevor Cahill. I'm okay with that, actually. Have these three, sure. Nishek's a middle relief guy, though. Sit with normal usage. That's our... Okay, I'm okay with that. Actually worked out pretty well. Here we go. Your Jimmy's at short. Matt Diaz in right. Aubrey at first. Beltran center. McLeod left. Kenji at catcher. Barnes at second. Utley at third, which is not good with that arm. I'm in need of a third baseman. Okay, Maybin's kind of the odd man out. So we'll jump ahead and shop some offers. Yeah, third baseman. Fernando Tatis Sr. Let's see if there's anyone on active I can attach some money to. Cliff Lee just been an average pitcher. I don't love paying him that much. If I move Cliff Lee too, that's $6 million I could save. Or not. Can't trade Kerry Wood yet. All right. Just not going to get market value back just because of money. I really was hoping to go all in and not to worry about this year, but at this point, we're just going to have to jump ahead. Against by offer. Against by offer. So unfortunately, we're just going to jump ahead to Hall of Fame voting. We can't offer any money. Daniel Bard, who's no. Give it Grant Roberts, not a bad pitcher. We're getting some cash, but that's just not enough cash to move a good player. Mark Trumbull gets traded. Reds making a trade, getting Jason Marquis and some money. Yeah, he's not. Well, he pitched really well in Florida last year, but I think everyone in that Florida staff pitched well. Jose Alvarez and Alex Rodriguez gets traded to the Royals. So they fill up that third place hole that they lost by Sean Figgins. Cardinals and the Reds do an interdivision trade. A bunch of minor league guys getting traded. Reds, Aaron Harang and some money going to the Cardinals. Harang being an average pitcher. Richard Blyer convinced. We're going to keep jumping ahead to Hall of Fame voting. Oh, bunch of DFA guys. They can all go to AAA. Have them fix my minor leagues right now. Oh. Why do we designate like 100 relievers for assignment and some catchers? I don't know. That's weird. Oh well. Sikorski's still sitting here in AAA, making his million. Can I trade him away for money relief? I'll take anybody. Yeah. All right. Look at the mail. More of our free agents or more of our draft picks are signing. Adrian Gonzalez getting traded for Blake Parker and some money. And downside side of these old mods is the money expands a lot quicker than the actual money in the game. The contracts expand faster. Griffey's going to the Yankees, which, again, everyone knows in real life this would never happen. Ken Griffey Jr. hated the Yankees from how he was treated when he was a kid with his dad. So this is actually one of the most unrealistic trades that happened in the series so far. Young Jared Dyson gets traded. Getting Grant Robertson some cash. No, you need more than that cash, unfortunately. But I'm up to moving Gio at this point. As we get close to Hall of Fame voting, hopefully seeing something a little more promising in terms of either trades. Oh, Pudge Rodriguez gets traded at 36. And $1 million to the Rays. They'll get they get Justin Upton back, which is a very good prospect. And Donovan Solano. That's actually really, and Detroit is going to keep some of that money too. He's got some trade. Sean Gallagher got traded. Todd Walker's traded. So a bunch of these foreigners. Jason Varitek gets traded. And now we look at some Hall of Fame voting. Of this, Harold Baines is a stat accumulator, so to me, he's not a Hall of Famer. Albert Bell's borderline. Bobby Bonilla, no. Jose Canseco, no. Will Clark, one of the best defensive first basemen of all time. Andre Dawson, one of the better players of all time. Doc Gooden to me is a borderline. He has the peak. David Justice would be. He was on a pace. Donnie Baseball needs to get in the Hall of Fame. Tim Raines got in real life by just stat accumulation. Lee Smith deserves to go in. Well, I'm not seeing too many Delano Shields there. Chuck Finley had a decent career. But outside of that, I'm not seeing Andy Baines, Brady Anderson. Yes, I think I'm only going to spin about a 5 this year. And we're going to jump through the winter meetings. They continue to put them on the waivers, which means we must have too many guys on the roster. These are notable names to me. Don't see any. Flash Gordon gets traded. Joe Nathan gets a contract extension for at least 2 more years. Yeah, $6.9 million for 2 years. Good contract for him. And now winter meetings. Shown I am, but I can't afford you. Like even if I go minimums, I can't pay him. No, I would really not like to trade Bard. All right, so let's do this. Kerry Wood's healthy again. I'm going to look to trade him. I want to get off that contract. And I will attach Cam Maybin, who is a very good prospect in my eyes. Who's already elite defensively. Who has a chance to develop the bat. What if I retain like 75% of this money to start? And we can work our way back. Brian Wilson is a good closer. Let's start here. Let's take the retain off. Okay, they can't afford it. Right here. Trade Ubaldo. Let's do this. Remove Cam Maybin. Corey Sullivan, somebody I don't really have value for. Ubaldo Jimenez is a very good pitcher. If I take Ubaldo out, what do they want? Only Ubaldo. If I bump this money up a little bit. What is that, 40%? No, he wants Ubaldo bad. We've got 20% here. Okay, so we're going to put Cam Maybin and Neftalí Feliz. They win Ubaldo. about that? Mármol. And Henry Alberto Rodriguez. Do I care about Ubaldo Menes? I mean, he was very good for us last year in limited time. 59 games as a bullpen guy. Going 2008 in real life. So when he just started hitting his peak. And I can't trade Ubaldo. Let's at least have money they'll accept. Brian Wilson's a very good reliever, but he struggled last year in 3 games. I can't. Puts us $20 million in the hole, but in my opinion, that's a better player. I mean, we're saving $10 million. We give up 2 good bullpen prospects, but I mean, we got to get Kerry Wood's contract off. Okay, we're still in the red. At least it puts us in a spot where we can get a boost to go in the green. Mo's gonna have his no trade clause, yeah. All right, so now that changes how we look at the roster. It very much has raided our farm system to get off some money. Sadly. Sammy Gravacchio was just league average in AAA last year. Cedric Bowers is a lefty. I mean, just was a 4th round pick, but has AAA numbers from last year, which is weird, but I mean, a hard throwing, nasty lefty doesn't hurt to have in the bullpen. Sikorski can come back up because he's making money anyways. That we really don't have much for batters right now. Ugla's still at 3rd. Zober slides to right. How should I put my good new signings, which probably are going to be the bottom, I'm guessing. There's Chase Utley. We'll go. Released a bunch of guys that evidently weren't very good. Have them fix that now. And we're still majorly in the hole money-wise, I'm going to guess. Yeah, still can't offer anything. But if we look now, we're only $8 million in the hole. Utley at 2nd, Jimmy at short. So basically we just took the Phillies middle infield. Huff at 1st, Beltran center, McLaughlin left. Benny Zobrist right, which is good defense. See if a bat does anything. Ugla's playing 3rd, not great arm. We'll see if the bat can do anything. So again, a much worse lineup. No depth in our lineup right now. Plenty of pitchers though. Honestly, a couple of these guys probably should see if we can shop these around for some cheap bats. Sikorski, and he's been very good. Oh, I don't know. Who else is making some money right now? Sikorski and John Rauch. Can they get me a batter that is a Mike Morse? So we're going to save money. Nelson Cruz is here. Honestly, not a bad defensive player, but the bat didn't develop like it did in real life. Mike Morse is super utility. Yeah, Mike Morse, give me the guy. Figure out the bat. We're saving a little money. But that's just an amazing trade for us. Honestly, yeah. Morse slides into third base, and he can play utility and a bunch of other roles. Gets Utley in the bench, who can play first, second, third. Gio's going to be our backup catcher with the first base. Morse can play some short if needed. Actually, he's a very good defender in general. Bat wasn't there last year at the White Sox. See if he can figure some stuff out. Liking that lineup a lot more. Spot for 2 more guys. Sammy Gravacchio, I don't think he's... Oh, he did make the major leagues at one point. And they were going for, surprisingly, so good. Sammy Gravacchio.
To my good buddy Matt Hughes and Tom and Kathy, they're watching back in Virginia tonight, Brownie.
Well, that means they're watching Sammy Gravacchio come in, and he's going to be interesting for them to watch the way he holds that baseball up, and we'll get a shot of that, JD.
Yeah, fans are going to love Sammy. This got a little bit of him last year when he was called up, but he's kind of taking it to another level this year. He's like, got a little Lima time working. Style point. There it is.
Okay,
yeah,
you see this?
A little sneak attack. There's the ball.
I try to hit it. Juan Uribe takes strike 1.
And he's kind of like Romo of the Giants with that sidearm delivery. Sammy actually a little bit lower than Romo. Same sweeping slider. There it is.
And then he drifts off toward the first base dugout.
Pitchers under his league name is Samuel Gravacchio. Or Gravacchio. I think he's going to end up working the bullpen. John Hunton doesn't have much there. Kyle Rogers doesn't have much there. Have the AI work with the bullpen. And we have one more spot. If we get more money, we can use that spot. If not, we have some names here that can move guys around. Like John Hunter, Kyle Rogers might get a MLB spot. We'll see. Honestly, prefer it to be a bat. If we look here, off-season center, free agents, all batters. Here, Craig Monroe plays the outfield. Was not good last year. Doesn't look like he wants any money. So we're going to offer him a contract. Offer a minor league contract. Ricky Ledé. Terrible hitting last year. He's an outfielder. Keep going through here. I'd like to find more Jack Cust. Great eye. No defensive position. Mark Grunzelanek we can bring back. Just not ever been good hitter in this game. Restovich. Wes Helms. Let's go fielding ratings. And where is maybe under general. Trying to find demand here. I am not good at. Remember all this is at. Was it under there? It has to be under miscellaneous. Here's demand. So looking for guys that are good defenders with no demand. Fielding ratings. I want the framing too, because I'm big on framing. Oh, 16-year-old Jose Turno can be a minor league deal. Hector Osuna, minor league deal. nobody there is kind of interesting to me. Anybody with great range? All right, we'll go here. Let's do save this feed just in case as a free agent fielding ratings. Position ratings. Is there any like insane defenders right now? Outfielder. Give him a minor league contract. We'll give this overalls at least 40. And we'll get this demand on here. So you can see these guys, Jared Patterson and Wes Helms. Doesn't have any demand. Played in the majors last year. We'll give him a minor league contract. Again, just taking some flyer guys. I mean, he needs a major league option, unfortunately. And I can't offer that money. Grunslanic's the best one there. Nothing I can afford, nothing I can afford. How about center fielders? Usually they're going to be the best. So we have some names. Sean Figgins, I'd love to bring him in, but no money. West Helms with the White Sox, whatever. That's it. We don't have any money to move right now. Aramis lost him. We get a first-round pick out of it. So he's Kyle Rogers. Was good in AAA last year. I don't like his profile though. Brian Steinacher was bad in A-ball last year, so he's a negative. Julio Mateo. I mean, he's not going to be an MLB guy. I'll bring him in though, because Wade Davis is the interesting one, and could develop and was very good in A-ball. Yeah, he doesn't have any money tied to him. So I'll just accept that trade. And that's a nothing move. Julio Mateo, I'll give him a major league contract. And then immediately try to flip him for anything. What if I retain 75% of his money? Nobody. What if I tie in an average prospect? Like, I don't know, Miguel Abreu. Nothing. Somebody can take him if they want him. Chase Utley is going to St. Louis. Greg Monroe went to Baltimore. Good for him. Didn't have money to sign those guys anyways. Some minor league guys moving around. We got a compensation pick for Marcus Giles going to be hurt. Jump ahead to Rule 5 because we can actually get some guys in the Rule 5 draft. Anyone there? That's fine. I have enough catchers. Leo Mateo. He can get released. He can get released. We have a spot in the roster for a Rule 5 draft guy too, so if you look at Rule 5 eligible, Wade Davis, I'll throw him on that. John Hunton, don't care. Yeah, we're fine there. All right, let's look at this Rule 5 draft. Look at some all players. Is there anyone good? Chad Bradford I can bring in. He's falling off a cliff. Was not good in AAA last year. Jeff Weaver. Randall Vanderherk. No. Jerry Blevins. Lanky lefty. Bring him back. Actually would be a good bullpen piece. Was good in AAA last year. I must trade him to Florida. Was good there. I want to throw him here just in case. Rajai Davis, his speed. It's an option. We might end up getting 2 guys here, if not 3. Because I want Jerry Blevins to come back. Is he still here? Rajai is. Let's jump pitching rating. Actually, I want fielding rate, batting ratings. Kind of not a two-way guy. Good pitcher, but not good pitching stats. Good first baseman. Has some power. An 07. Hit the ball pretty well. We'll bring him in and call that good there. So, definitely some names that could go somewhere. Jay Blevins slides into a reliever spot. Actually, a specialist, probably. Sammy Gervasio becomes a right-handed specialist, actually. I'm okay with that. Lineup-wise, Adam Hyzdu actually batted pretty well in AAA last year. Has some interesting stats, plays a really good defensive first base, has some utility. And Rajai Davis, good outfield utility. Puts those 2 players over, which means one of these relievers probably is going to get moved. Don't know who yet. Probably Cedric Bowers, with my early guess. And hitting-wise, we'll see. Gio might have to go. Now he's our backup catcher. Clint Barnes might be the guy that goes down. He plays good second base. defensively. We have Chase Utley now. Is he seriously playing anywhere? Why does he have his name? He's playing second base versus lefties with a DH. Because Chase Utley plays DH. He's going to end up probably sliding down, as well as one of the pitchers. But we'll come back to that. I'm pretty happy with those Rule 5 picks. We'll see how the Hall of Fame voting results happened. Bob Howard got a contract, former Cub for a couple of years. Again, McAuliffe and Beltran both stealing bases like crazy, adding more speed to the lineup with Rajai Davis. We get compensation for Mark Kotze, who gets picked. San Francisco gets paid, get a first-round pick out of him as well. Supplemental first. Can jump ahead to more the Hall of Fame results. Kosuke Fukudome got drafted by the Phillies. Randy's going to the Dodgers with some money. Andre Dawson made the Hall of Fame, which is great for him, and Tim Raines was able to get in. Dale Murphy got dropped. David Justice didn't make it for his first ballot. So we have, again, two guys that deserve to go in, Andre Dawson and Tim Raines. We can jump into preseason, see if they adjust our money at all. So it's very questionable just because we have good teams. All right, let's see. I don't want to look at that yet. We'll see. Brad Hand decides to retire at 18. Without ever playing a game. First round supplemental pick. It looks like he's going to be drafted, though. Again, another one that probably will come back at some point. Where did he get drafted to? Athletics. So, Kyler Murray. Carlos Pena going to Texas. Oh, we lose money by $4 million. That's just great. So we can't spend even more money. We're even more money in the hole. Fortunately, I can't offer any of these guys contracts. We'll look at just default. I said I'd love to bring some of these guys in. I can't. Brian Roberts. If I had money, I would. I'll offer you a minor league contract. I know you're not interested in it. We'll go through throwing some of these low ball minor league deals to these decent players. If any of them accept it's a success. I doubt any of them do because there actually is some names here. Past their prime names, but guys that actually would play for our minor league teams at least. All right, we'll go there. You guys aren't getting any money, so 34 minor league contracts. If they want it, they can have it. Along these lines. Daryl May. Actually, there's a name. Again, we got some more minor league contract pitchers. Would like to bring Brad Penny in. He's very good. Can't pay money. Carl Bavano would be interesting to bring in. Can't pay money. Isringhauser is leaving St. Louis, which is awesome. He gets one guy out of the bullpen, even though he's not been great for them. He was good for a couple years ago. Can't bring him in. You can just see, oh, I'd love to, but I'm $14 million in the hole because they cut our money. A bunch of guys are going to say no. Whatever. If they don't, again, I'm just throwing some minor league contracts up here. I can't afford any of those guys. But we do look like we have some names considering it. If they say no, it's no loss to us. So we get Charles Thomas, Jermaine Clark, Roger Cedeno, JHJ. Just give him a picture here quick. Ricky Leday, David Newhan, Gil Metch, Jared Patterson, Abraham Nunez, Chris Richard, Bryant Nelson. I don't know if you're going to have a pitcher or not. Played 25 games, so he might. Brian Nelson, maybe? Played with Boston. That is him. Good. I got his pitcher in there. Joelbert Cabrera, Larry Bigby, Craig Counsell, Alex Cora, Grunzlonic, Chris Gomez, Adam Kennedy, Daryl May, Eric Munson, Jamie Wright, 40-year-old Eric Young. See if he's on here. I'm going to go with senior. Padres. Yep. Chris Prieto, D'Angelo Jimenez. I said Brian Roberts. No, whatever. David Ross signs. Terrio. Don't care. Pete Zocadillo. Played some time in the majors. See if he has a pitcher. Z-O-C-C. Peter Zocadillo. Doug. Ronnie Belliard. Terrence Long. Hey, they like Jose Vizcaíno coming in. Chris Benson. Don't love Raul Mondesi coming in. What I said, these are all minor league guys. Looking at this, I don't see any names I signed that are not fake players. In that case, they can all go. Jump ahead a little more. Go back here, off-season center. Free agents. All players. These are the last guys that can offer minor league contracts to. I mean, those I can't even offer a line contract if I wanted to. Let's put it down to 35. Just filling up some. That was Rick and Keel. Kevin Orie had a couple stints with the Cubs a while ago. We'll throw some more minor league contracts. If they want to sign, they can sign. If not, they can go. Brian Roberts goes to Boston. Eric Bynes to Cleveland. Kosuke Fukudome. Going to be a missionary and travel the world. I am glad I didn't end up drafting him. St. Louis brings back Jason Nicklinghauser. Nick Johnson goes to Detroit. Jarrett Wright goes to the Yankees. Carl Bavano goes to the Brewers. So again, our division's getting better. Brad Penny goes to San Diego. Bunch of guys are interested. Like I said, if we sign them, we sign them. If not, it's no skin off my back at this point. Throwing in some more minor league guys. Let's me just get the minor league organization cleaned up a little bit more. More fake ghost players can go. And I think we're going to call that for the spring training. All right, so not a whole lot of movement and news. Kind of an uneventful offseason, even though this is going to be one of the longer videos recently. A couple big changes. Again, just to kind of recap this offseason. Had to go through and fill out some minor league pitching coaches and all that. I'll do that off screen. But the big changes, Joe McIntosh comes in as the manager. Again, should be an instant upgrade for what we had at the end of last year. Along with having new hitting coach Nick Atkinson. Should be a huge upgrade for us. Lineup-wise, not a whole lot of change other than trading for Mike Morse. And trading away some bad contracts in Kerry Wood. Trading away Cliff Lee, $6 million. Doing some Rule 5 picks of Rajai Davis. I can't pronounce that. I'm not going to try anymore. Trading for Chase Utley makes us much better in the middle. On the pitching side of things, lineup pitching staff changed big time this year. Johan and Pryor are the only two retained from the pitching staff last year. Ubaldo moves into a spot, is really starting to develop nicely. Control's getting there. I forgot the development lab again. Need to do that next time. But again, looking at just they're developing fine. Coming off a really good year out of the bullpen. We'll see if he transitions to a starter well. I got him on a pitch count right now. Could remove that. R.A. Dickey, for some reason, doesn't have good stats and really struggled last year. But was good 2 years ago in about the same amount of time. We'll see how he does. If not, he's an easy option down. Trevor Kay, who just dominated AAA last year, is going to be one of our starters. We're going to kind of push him ahead and see what happens. He's got the good ratings already. Fastball sliders leaves a lot to desire. Bullpen-wise, Rivera and Hoffman are our big 1-2. To that, we have some new names, some older names. Jason Frazier, who had a great year with us as a setup guy last year. Might end up being another setup. We'll see how Hoffman does in that role if we need a stopper. New lefty Cedric Bowers comes in. Was a 4th-round pick in our last draft, but said he was with the Bulls in the AAA. I don't really know about that. It's kind of weird, but on here, 03 was the last time he played, so he might have went overseas and came back. A little confusing, but I'm not going to ask questions. Has elite stuff, has a nasty curveball cutter. Extreme fly ball is not great, could be a AAA guy. Sean Marshall was good with us last year in 37 games, 132 area plus, kind of starting to figure it out as a big lefty. Neshek, another one, started to figure it out. Came from Minnesota, was very good in Minnesota. Had some BABIP unluckiness, slightly above average ERA plus, not great at WAR. Problem it came down to, he gave up a lot of 26 walks, 10 home runs, with only 51 strikeouts. WAR loves strikeouts. We'll see if he can get that up with the good stuff. Movement's improving, control's improving. 2 really good pitchers and 3. The third one's okay. Sammy Gravacchio, another draft pick for us. Would have been 2004, so it would have been one of our first drafts we would have done. Has elite stuff, has an elite slider, extreme ground ball is what I like. Has a goofy windup in real life. I wish they would translate that game, but they're not going to. In Iowa last year in 11 games was very good. I guess was league average, but had good BABIP. Struck out almost 11 guys, didn't walk many. Home runs were his issue. We'll see if that kind of gets fixed here at the majors. If not, another guy could rotate down. Jerry Blevins, a Rule 5 pick from Arizona. Originally traded him away a while ago to Florida, who actually had a good year in Florida in 15 games. Then kind of danced around the minors, was just good in the minors. And then came up AAA last year and was slightly above average, not great. We'll see if I can kind of translate any of that in the majors here. Not a strikeout guy, gets ground balls. At least in real life, gets ground balls. We'll see how he does here. Anderson Tavares somehow found his way in the major league roster again. Wants to be a starting rotation guy with those ratings. I can't release him because he's actually getting a contract, but he's just going to go straight back to AAA. And Wade Davis, traded for him. Controls an issue, but has an extreme developmental risk. No clue what he's going to turn into. Has a good fastball, has a good cutter. Was good in AA last year. Going to be an interesting spring training middle reliever. Can turn into something, would be great. If not, can drop him down AAA pretty easily. Lineup-wise, catcher is still Kenji. Got Rookie of the Year. Was a Divisional Series MVP last year. Got really hot towards the end of the year. Average bat. Good defensive catcher. Doesn't really strike out much. Gio as a backup's fine. Has a decent, again, just has never developed into a good catcher. Probably as a trade bait at some point if we have some good potential in the minors. Aubrey Huff's our everyday first baseman. He's been everything we've asked of him since we brought him in 2004 from the Rays. Just consistently 120 to 130. Adam Hyzdu, maybe? Rule 5 pick from St. Louis. Going to be a good bench bat. Has good eye. Drives some gaps pretty well. Had 18 homers in AAA last year. 124 OPS plus for a 2-WAR season. And plays a good defense at first base. Clint Barnes probably is going to be the first guy that gets sent down if he's not great. He was an NLCS MVP because of a huge game-winning home run in Game 6 that sent us to World Series. But he doesn't have a great bat. Plays good defense, though. Chase Utley was one of our big trades. Good bat, decent defense, decent speed. League average bat last year in Philly. I think he's going to improve here in Chicago. I think he hits well in the Wrigley Field numbers. Mike Morse, super good defensive player. Plays elite first base, second base, and left field. And above average third, short, and right. Can play everywhere but center field, looks like. And catcher. And has decent batting stats. Was not a great bat last year in the majors. Was okay in the minor. Was actually pretty good in AAA in Charlotte from Cleveland, looks like. Dan Ugla. League average bat last year in the majors. Above average in AAA. Plays good defense. Has some batting potential. Has some speed. Jay Rawl. Another great year. Actually down a little bit, but plays good defense at shortstop. Home runs went down a little bit. Again, we just had league-wide home runs going down, so they didn't hit well. We'll go through some of those guys later. Nate McLeod was kind of our star free agent signing. Got him through arbitration, still making not too much money. Plays great defense. Hits the ball very well. Only 10 homers, though. Doesn't really have that overall power, but he hits well for what he needs to be. Gets on base, steals the bases. Corey Sullivan, good bench bat, gets on base. 105 OPS plus, plays a decent left field defense, good speed, good runner. Might be a AAA guy. Beltran's our star, getting paid like it. Had a down year. Only an 862 OPS, 124 OPS plus, only a 3 WAR. Don't know if he had some defensive issues as well. Kind of regressed a little bit defensively, but still has a good range, still has a good arm. Still has good hitting stats, good speed. I'm not too worried about him bouncing back. Rajai Davis, another Rule 5 pick. Going to be a bench runner. Plays good bench defense. I don't hate having him in the Major League roster. Right now, Ben Zower's playing right. It's here for his defense. Great at the corner outfield. Can play a little defense infield. And we'll see if that bat develops. He was league average last year in limited games. But that is the going into 2008 Chicago Cubs. I'll see you next time, and please like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully this series finishes in 2008.